Big E. Here we are. We're coming up right on Survivor Series, one of my favorite events in the WWE. So many historic moments in WWE have come from the Survivor Series. But I want to talk about Monday night because you were attacked by the Usos ahead of Survivor Series in Brooklyn this Sunday. What response do you, King Woods, and Kofi have for the Bloodline this Friday?
Man, I'm not gonna give anything away, and I'm not gonna I called my shot with cashing in the Money in the Bank, so that I've done enough of letting people know when I'm coming. But just know, man, I really, when I say y'all, they came in my family, that's how I feel, man. We really built such a strong bond between the three of us. I love those guys. I root for them in and out of the ring, and always will. So it means a lot to me. So we had our 6-man, a month or so, a couple months ago, that 6-man tag with the Bloodline. But, there's one way to do this where it's just competition. It's the best against the best. But now you've taken it to a level now where it's personal, the after shenanigans. Woods says he's clamored for years to be king of the ring. This means a lot to him. I know we like to have fun. We like to joke around. We like to be loose, but we don't take anything like that lightly. So please believe there will be a response.
Every single time a member of the New Day has accomplished something big, whether it be Kofi Mania, congratulations to you being WWE champion. You've reached the pinnacle of the mountain. And honestly, Woods being the king of the ring, those were huge moments that brought tears to my eyes. So congratulations to all three of you guys. You guys are doing it right and stayed the track. I love the New Day, but I love what you guys are doing individually. One thing that I love about you guys too is your ring gear. Currently, your ring gear, you have this Death Row Godfather theme. Can you tease the ring gear you will have at Survivor Series?
I'm excited about it. I'm trying to think of a good tease. I'll just say this. It's something else that I really love. And for anyone who's heard me, if you watch enough of my interviews or you listen to me talk enough, it won't be a shock to people as far as what I'll be wearing. But it's something that it's an ode to something that I really enjoy and have loved for a long time. And I think is fitting for the area that we're in. But the nice part I think with wrestling gear is I love debuting it and I love the reaction. So I don't ever spoil that for people. And I remember as a fan too, Rey Mysterio used to always have the dopest gear. When he did the Batman joint, and oftentimes I get excited for pay-per-views and big events because I just want to see what the men and women are wearing. I want to see the new inspired stuff. And it's damn near like a little fashion show. You know what I mean? The excitement, especially because, for these bigger shows, especially for the Big Four, like a Survivor Series, so many people are going to be trying to impress with their gear. So I don't want to ruin that moment because I know how much I enjoy it as a fan, that surprise. So I'll do my best to not.
From Dragon Ball Z, Final Fantasy, Power Rangers, the New Day, you guys have the best ring gear, and you're completely right. It's that excitement. I've seen Johnny Gargano wearing the Shawn Michaels ring gear, and I was just like, oh my God, these cool throwbacks, man. So when you guys are doing your ring gear, do you ever get any pushback for some of the themes or characters that you guys are paying homage to?
You know what? We've had some issues because we like to, kind of toe the line, and sometimes we'll do stuff beforehand where we know, okay, if we have a relationship, if Mattel has a relationship with a certain entity, we know there won't be similar issues. But honestly, we like to do a lot of stuff. We're a believer in that premise of asking for forgiveness instead of permission, because it can be easy to say, oh no, that could offend someone, or could whatever it is. So we'll just do stuff, and if we get pushback, fine. We did get some pushback on the Dragon Ball stuff afterwards, but we're of the impression, especially for WrestleMania, where it's a one-off. Yeah. It's once out there and wear it, you can yell at us all you want and tell us to stop wearing it, because if it's a one-off, we're done with it anyways. But I will say I do like the fact that I like when Mattel can make all the elements. So I was a little bummed that they couldn't make the Dragon Ball Z shells, even though the packaging for that gear that came in the Booty-O's box, and you open it up, which was very fitting because we came out of the Booty-O's box at the WrestleMania in Dallas, I believe. Yep. So sometimes we get, I feel like there's only been 2 or 3 instances that I can think of, but it's never really been a big deal at all. It's just sometimes it gets flagged, but I I would definitely be remiss if I don't mention, since we're talking about wrestling gear, I have to shout out Jonathan Davenport, who is the man who is, and not just, he's a friend of ours, but a really good friend of ours, and works on our pet project, Our Heroes Rock 2, our labor of love. But Jonathan's been designing gear for Woods before the New Day, and he started with us in 2015, and he's been incredible. But what I love with Johnny is oftentimes I'll just send him these loose ideas. Like, I wanted to do a bunch of odes to hip hop because I'm a hip hop head, and I just, so the first thing we did was, it's a lot of people don't know this album, but it's an incredible album called Below the Heavens by Blue and Exile. And so the gear, that blue gear that I'm wearing when I win Money in the Bank, that's an ode to Below the Heavens. And the jacket, you get it more because the jacket has the tracks listed. And then the gear that I'm in, which I'm about to be out of after Survivor Series, is an ode actually to the score, the Fugees album. And I thought, they're an iconic 3-man group. We're a pretty popular three-person group, because obviously Lauren was a woman. We're a 3-person group as well. So it just made a lot of sense. That album is one, it's a classic, undeniably. But what I love, and one reason I want to shout Johnny out, is oftentimes, man, I'll have these very, very loose ideas, and I'll text him about it or send him an email. And I love that he doesn't just find a way to, okay, here's a way to put the concept on gear, but he'll do the research. Like I don't know if people can really see it, but on the jacket, there's the current jacket that I'm wearing for the score gear. There's these little helicopters, which is an ode to a Fugees music video, with the scene where they have all the helicopters. So I love those little Easter eggs. And the thing is, there might be a dozen people who actually catch these things, but that's what I love. It doesn't have to be for the masses. Everyone doesn't have to get it. But if people can take a second and pause on their DVR and say, yo, that detail's incredible, I know where that's from. Like, we love those little Easter eggs.
That is amazing. I love those Easter eggs too. That is so cool. I didn't even know about the track listing. Now it makes me want to go ahead and almost like a MCU movie, freeze frame your entrance to see what the detail on your jacket. That's incredible. Look, we're right upon the Survivor Series, and the Survivor Series is known for creating these iconic WWE moments, from the debut of The Undertaker, the Montreal Screwjob, the debut of The Rock, the Gobbledygooker. What stands out to you the most as your favorite Survivor Series moment?
Oh, man, that's a great question, man. The debut of The Rock is and obviously, it's 25 years later where we're celebrating that. You know what I love about that? Even though The Rock didn't have this megastar moment at Survivor Series when he debuted, I'm not going to say we're like The Rock or we're Jason The Rock, but I will say, like, we really drew inspiration from his turnaround, because in much the same way he comes out as this, the term we use is white meat baby face, has a smile on his face, and comes out where, he's got the blue, like those ribbons, whatever that deal is. And people didn't like it. They rejected him. And it reminds me too of us coming out doing that happy-go-lucky preacher-inspired gospel singing gimmick with the New Day in 2014, and it did not work, and people rejected it. And the beautiful thing is, The Rock was so just undeniable that he found a way to push through that to become the absolute megastar and icon that he became and still is. And, we were able to turn it around as well. So have, those instances, and also what he's done in Hollywood is absolutely incredible. Sure. So, being able to see someone of his caliber find a way to take something like that and turn it around and just go off on this like that I appreciate. So I know that Survivor Series moment in and of itself might not be the greatest, but I think it just planted the seed of something that grew into this incredible story. And it really helped us to know that there was someone out there who had dealt with a gimmick that people, this babyface gimmick that people were not into, and found a way to turn around. Because turning the thing around is hard, especially when you set that first impression. It's hard for a lot of people to get that out of their minds, to overcome that. So I'm going to go with that one just because, it really resonates with me in and out of the ring. It's an inspirational story, honestly.
100%. Same, very much like the New Day. Completely right. Like that. Like I remember those old vignettes where it would be like you guys in all white with the choir behind you. And I'm so happy that your charisma, all three of you guys, the charisma factor was able to shine, because I've met Xavier at a couple E3s, and it's just like, that dude is a ball of energy. And I'm so happy that he's getting his opportunity with G4, because he's like, I'm vicariously living through him. I'm so happy that you guys are at the level you guys are. And now everybody else, like my kids have somebody to look up to, you know what I mean? I love it. I absolutely love it. Now I got to ask, within the locker room of WWE and NXT, who's a superstar people should have their eyes on going into 2022?
Man, I obviously, there's been a lot of talk, for people who are plugged into NXT with Braun Breaker, seeing him do the things he does. And what I love is, he's a guy of this era. He's only been training, I think, for about 7 months. We did, yes, it blew my mind. So we actually did a meet and greet in London. Was it last week? Yeah, last week. And it was me, it was Charlotte, Damian Priest, and it was Braun Breaker. And so this is the first time I've ever met him. And getting to hear his story, when he said he's only been training for 7 months, it kind of blew my mind, because he's playing football. I think he dabbled in the NFL for a little bit. But I love that, okay, he feels like a part of this modern era, but he reminds everyone so much of his dad and uncle, that and the singlet, man, you get that Steiner Brothers nostalgia, one of the greatest tag teams of all time. 100%. I feel like Steiners don't get enough credit for just how incredible they were. These two massive dudes that would do Frankensteiners, and like the way they move, that blend of athleticism and power. How do you not love the Steiners if you love wrestling? They were incredible. So Braun is definitely a guy. Rhea Ripley is definitely already a star, already a name. But I really think that there's another level that she's on the cusp of really getting to. And it's been really beautiful to see Bianca push through and become when you think of, for so long, it was the 4 horsewomen who really reigned atop the women's division. But now I feel like Bianca is now that she's right there with all those established stars. And I think Rhea is definitely has the talent. She has the look. She has everything, all the tools she needs to be on that very same level, where you're seeing her main event, live events. You're seeing her possibly main eventing pay-per-views too. So I think she has that ability to really push through. And I think 2022 should be her year.
Yo, I love that Bruno shirt, by the way. Amazing shirt. I absolutely love it. I wanted to talk about the landscape of pro wrestling, mainly because it's so exciting to be a wrestling fan right now. And it's almost like we're moving back to these territory days, except with television networks. Can you talk to me a little bit about where you see the landscape of pro wrestling going?
I think it's in a great place right now. I know, from a fan perspective, I'm sure a lot of people would prefer that I come in here and trash talk everyone in the AEW and stir the pot. But that's not my style, because I just want to speak earnestly. And honestly, I think competition is good for everyone. I think it forces us to raise our game. If you watch their shows and you see rabid fans, people losing their minds, and people are loving those shows, it should make us want to say, yo, we want to be dominating them. We want to step our game up. We want to put on the better show. So I think competition is great. I think it's also, I think it's just also very, very good that we have men and women now who may not fit here in WWE, who may not want it, whatever it is, but now they have a place that they can go and they can wrestle, they can make money, they can live their dream, they can be on TV. So I think it's great. And as far as where wrestling and our industry is headed, I think we're in a good spot, man. I even look around at looking at Black wrestlers.
Absolutely.
And I talked to Shelton a while ago, Benjamin, and he talked about the fact that when he first came up, it was him and maybe there'd be 1 or 2 other brothers, and that was about it.
Yep.
But now, man, it's so cool to look around. Even when I got signed in 2009, we had definitely had Black talent on TV and around, but I look around and I see so many incredible Black wrestlers, men and women, who are unique, who aren't being shoved into these boxes that don't feel right for them. I'm really enjoying what Hit Row's doing.
Yes,
and those
absolutely.
guys, they actually I love hip hop. I have no business rapping. We did the rap battle. That segment was so fun to be a part of. Wale was a part of it. I'm so glad we got to do it. But clearly, I'm no MC. I'm meant to be a fan, sit on the sidelines, put my headphones on and listen. But when you watch Hit Row, man, Swerve, dude got bars, the dude, and he's good at what he does. Same thing, Top Dollar, the whole crew, man, it's a gimmick that fits them. It works. I'm excited to see them blossom and continue to grow. But just in general, I look around, Sasha, Bianca, New Day, Hurt Business. There's so many of us doing dope things, and it doesn't feel, what I love is, I especially, and I think the vast majority of us, we don't want any kind of quota system. We don't want a system where, we need more diversity, so let's just put some random Black talent or person of color in this position just because we need more diversity. No, when you saw Sasha and Bianca main event night one of WrestleMania, to me, it was a no-brainer. It wasn't a gift that they were given. No, they were incredible characters, incredible personalities, incredible in the ring. They put on a classic. They deserved to be there. They killed it. They owned that moment. What I love is I feel like the best talent are just being given the best slots. And it just so happens that we have a lot of really dope Black talent. So I think that's great. And man, I really just I hope that our roster just reflects the world that we live in. Honestly.
Absolutely.
And whether it's Black talent, LGBTQ talent, Hispanic talent, Japanese talent, I think we should continue to reflect the society and the world that we live in.
That's the best answer I possibly have ever heard to that question. And not only that, too, you talked about competition amongst the landscape of pro wrestling. I really think that now we're in this era, though, where you don't have to make the choice like the Monday Night Wars. You know what I mean? Because everything's on demand. I can watch it whenever I want, and it's enough to go around. My eyeballs are going to watch new wrestling content every single day. As a fan growing up, that is what I absolutely love. Wrestling from around the world, seeing these different styles. And honestly, to me, this is one thing. WWE is great at creating moments. And I love watching these other companies too. I mean, it's talent all around. It just makes the game that much better, at least for me as a fan and a consumer. Now, rapid fire real quick. I've always wanted to know, what is your favorite entrance music of all time?
Oh, man, that's a good one. That's a lot of pressure. It's tied to the fact that I love them too as a faction. Nation of Domination. That we are the nation. I don't know, man. I mean, that's an unconventional choice, but that's just so cold. I don't know, man. That was so cold to me.
I love that. What is your favorite match that you've ever had?
My favorite match ever. That is a very good one. Maybe forever, I would always say the Hell in a Cell with the Usos. I feel like now that I'm WWE champion, I should probably pick a singles match, but man, that's a damn good match. Let's go with the Usos Hell in a Cell.
Amazing. Now, what is your favorite match to watch and rewatch? If you were to say, you know what, this is the match that represents, maybe not that you're in, but just a match that you like to watch and just revisit.
Man, I love WCW as a kid. Ron Simmons beating Vader is kind of just like and seeing there's one moment you see there's like this little black kid losing his mind when Ron Simmons wins, and it's such a heartwarming, and seeing the locker room come out and clear out and pick Ron up, and like that's a special moment. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. And I loved Vader as a kid, such a big Vader fan, even though he was this badass villain. Something about him I just gravitated to. And then I know it's rapid fire, I'm supposed to be, but no, you're good. He was a trainer, he was a guest trainer years ago when I was in FCW. For about, I think, a week or two. And man, he was so kind and so gracious with his time. And I got to learn from him. And rest in peace to him, a legend. So let's go with Vader and Ron Simmons. I love that. answer. What's your favorite design? You're the current WWE champion. What is your favorite design of the WWE Championship? It's not the spinner belt. It's not the spinner belt. Man, the Austin, the customized like Steve Austin one. The Smoking Skull? Yeah, the skull one is pretty dope. Yeah. I wish we would do more customized titles. I know you guys got the customized side plates, but I would like to see like what the Big E WWE title would look like. That would be pretty cool. Yeah. What is and last question I have for you, what is your all-star Survivor Series team from wrestlers from any era? Okay, I will say this is a lazy answer, but I got to go with Kofi and Woods. But I'm going to round it out with two choices that are unconventional. The fourth spot goes to Warlord. Warlord, that's right. So I figure, all right, I got some beef on me, but Kofi and Woods have more of the speed. And I feel like, much like an NFL GM, you got to start with the line. You build with your offensive and defensive line. So you need the beef. We need some more meat. We got plenty. We got speed. We got athleticism. Kofi and Woods have that down. Now we're going to add Warlord for just meat. So let's say somehow you do pin Warlord. Your team is going to get thoroughly. They're going to be in some pain though before you get Warlord out of there. And then for the last choice, let us go with Jeep Swenson. That's more meat. That's enough. Look, if anyone is not aware,
we're going with Bane?
That's right. That is right. I'm going with Bane. Yes. Jeep Swenson he was appropriately named because the man is about the size of a Jeep. He just the most massive man. So I figure, with Survivor Series, it's not like you don't need a clean sweep. In my mind, I'm like, let's put those two massive men out there first, and they're going to decimate. They're going to leave, even if they don't get that many eliminations, they're going to leave the rest of this team, the opposing team, they're going to be hurting. Then the three of us, the New Day, could come pick the bones, and we get this win. So that's the strategy. A lot of people just go with Rock and Stone Cold, and I get it. Those are all great choices, but that's my strategy. You start with the beef, you wear down your opponent, then you bring in the athleticism to clean it up.
I love that answer. Unconventional choices, but great choices. Look, Big E, congratulations on being the WWE champion. You've reached the pinnacle of the mountain. I am so happy for you, and I'm so happy that you won the title. I felt like it was a long time coming. Look, the reign that you have currently right now, I'm excited that we're in it, and I can't wait for you to face off against Roman Reigns. And, man, you're such a great representative for WWE. I want to thank you so much for your time, man.
I appreciate you. Thank you, man.
Thanks, E. Take care, brother.
Thank you. Peace.
Bye.